Hello everyone. I want to very quickly, brows should always be very quick, show you what I'm using at the moment in terms of my brow routine since I've introduced Botox. I'm still using my Hero Brow Mascara and my Master Stroke, but since I started using this and introducing this, it just gives such a much more polished look, and because it's waterproof, it nearly acts as a barrier for these two in that it keeps the product on so much longer, if that makes sense. So let's do it together. I actually have some on from being out and about this morning, so I'm going to take this brow off using a little bit of cleanser, very balmy cleanser. So take that off so you can see. Using our Hero Brow Mascara, the Master Stroke Brow Trio, and a little bit of Botox. So I'm using the Hero Brow Mascara in shade Light. So the wand is so teeny tiny, as you can see. The trick is when using a brow mascara to use very delicate feather-like strokes. So instead of brushing through like so, you just want to really delicately do like so. So I just have a mirror here. I'm going to look into while I'm doing it. So very light pressure. The wand is going to capture every last little hair. I have really fine brows, so I find once I put the Hero on, it just instantly gives them life without having to put loads of pencil or product through them. I would say, I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit more so you can see. So what I'm going to do then is go in one more little layer. You see the difference it makes? And then I'm going to use the tip of the wand to just grab those extra few hairs there. Okay, so that's the Hero. Honestly, this on its own, even on a skinny brow like mine, just gives it life. What I'm going to do now is once that's dried down, I love to use the Botox at this stage and then put my Master Stroke. I'm going to zoom out because that's a bit scary. I'm going to put my Master Stroke Brow Trio on then at the very end. So that's the Hero because it's a Hero product. So my Hero Tinted Brow Mascara has dried down. So now I'm going to put a little bit of my Botox on. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you can see. And what I like to do is hold it on an edge like so. So I'm not using the bristles and I'm not using the sponge. I'm actually nearly using a little bit of both, because when you hold it at the tilt like this, the bristles at the edge will lift the hairs, and as you're running the wand through the brow, the side of the sponge then will lay the hairs down. So like so. And can you see how it's not disturbing the Hero at all that I've just applied? But it's just locking all the hairs into place. Whoopsie daisies. Like so. And then if you want to really set them and give it, so if you really want to set them and lay down the hairs to give that really laminated look, you can then just use the sponge end. I actually love to use just a little bit of this, using very light pressure. Set them down. And then I'll go in one more time just to separate the hairs. So that's the Hero, and then the Botox. I love that on its own as well. But what I'm going to do now is just introduce some of those hyper-realistic, I'll show you in the back of my hand, hair strokes just at the beginning of the brow and through here where I have no hair. And that'll finish them off. So to finish off the brow and introduce hair strokes where I have no hair, I'm using the Master Stroke Brow Trio, which is our teeny tiny pen. It also has a waterproof pencil as well, which is a really cool shape. It's a flat tip pencil to get skinny strokes or thicker strokes. I use light in all the brow products. However, in the brow pen, I always go a bit darker, and I always recommend with a brow pen that you do go a little bit darker, because you're not filling out the entire brow with the brow pen. You're just finessing it and adding those hyper-realistic hair strokes. So by going that little bit darker, will blend in with the rest of the brow that you've already applied product to. So I'm going to zoom in. I might just add 1 or 2 more here. Some strokes will be longer than others, and some will be darker than others, but that's what you want to do, because you want to add that sense of realism, the texture and dimension. I'll zoom out so you can see. It looks much better zoomed out. So once that's dried down, give it a little brush through to blend the product out with your natural brow. And also, if you make a mistake, for example, let's say like this, and you do a stroke too long or too thick or too heavy, let it dry. And then once it's dried and you brush through, it will completely kind of dissipate. Don't try and rub it while it's still wet. So that should be dried down now. So what I'll do is just very lightly brush through. And we're all done. So that's So when we're using our brow pen, we want to use what we call feather fingers, so very light pressure. And if you need to just practice on the back of your hand for a couple of minutes or whatever to get a feel for the depth of pressure that you should use, how little pressure you actually need, practice first on your hand before you give it a go. And with the brow pen, you get used to it very quickly. So I'm going to add some strokes here and underneath here. So I'll look in the mirror when I'm doing this so you can see as well. So just sketch it through. I'm using my pinky finger to leverage and to give me balance. Can you see that difference? And then through here. So really, really delicate scattered strokes. So that's the Hero Tinted Brow Mascara in light. I then used Brow Tox, and then I just finished off the brow with Master Stroke in 02 Brown. And that just goes to show you can really build up a brow from 0 to full in a very short space of time. So again, I'll show you the before and after, just to remind you how skinny my brows are. I have Brow Tox on here so you can see it's very hard to remove when you don't have a good cleanser. There's nothing really on this, just water. It's not really taking it off very well, but I just want you to see how skinny my brows are. So that's the one we just did. That's my brow as it is. And that's why I made Brow Aid. I have Brow Tox on, so Brow Tox is really long lasting, so make sure you have a nice cleanser for removing it. It's amazing that it stays on so long though. So you can see just how skinny my brow is, but ultimately how you can build a whole new brow. There you go. And that's why I created Brow Aid.